Hello, friends, and welcome to Much Review About Nothing. What are we? Some kind of animated film review? On this podcast, we review a movie we haven't seen through cultural osmosis and what we can find on the internet. I'm your host, Billy Greer.
And we're your co-hosts, Jake Greer and
Luke Greer.
Let's don't watch a movie.
all right. Do you want to well, actually, are we going to do introspection inspection?
Yeah, well, it's...
I have nothing. All right, so introspection inspection's over. What about you, Billy?
No, I don't think I have anything, honestly. Yeah, so today, my joke was kind of a very subtle, or not so subtle, illusion, but today we're talking about Spies in Disguise.
And currently, Billy, that joke has no value. You've currently completely overused it. It's worthless in this current climate.
I tried to think of something else to do, and I was like, there's just no topping it. It's the best possible Will Smith-related joke. I can't think of anything better. They would be disappointed if I didn't do it, so I had to do it. I'm sorry.
I guess
Well,
so.
this is a story about how a guy turned to a pigeon.
That was really bad.
I mean, I guess we can
No. Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
See, that's why I didn't go with that, because I can't rap, and I can't remember the lyrics to make a parody of it. I guess I could have wrote it down, but I don't want to put that much effort into the beginning joke. But
Well, this is a story about how
This is a story all about how...
oh, that's right, yeah.
all about how.
I know, I do remember. This is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down.
So I want to take a minute, just sit right there.
There
I
we
want
go.
to tell you about how I became a pigeon in animated flick with my Dreamcast.
Dreamcast.
What?
No, it's
DreamWorks. Dreamcast is...
But I don't think this is a... No, this is a Fox
This
movie.
isn't a Dreamcast movie.
No.
Oh, it's Blue Sky, isn't it?
Is it Blue Sky? Oh, yeah. Is Blue Sky
Blue
Fox's
Sky,
company?
Spies in Disguise.
I think it is.
We prepare... we prepare a lot for these films, as you can tell.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Blue Sky, which is, it's very appropriate, I would say.
Is this the game where Will Smith's face is on a pigeon? He asks you
Yeah,
philosophical questions.
The production is Blue Sky, 20th Century Fox, and Chernin Entertainment.
What was that game called?
Seaman.
Seaman. Was that a Seaman?
Yeah. It's the only reason to get. It's the only reason to get a Dreamcast.
Not a very good reason.
It has microphone abilities. If they had just made Seaman into a franchise, the Dreamcast would have been saved. They should have replaced Sonic with the fish thing.
Well, we've really gotten off track. Okay, it is a Blue Sky film.
Yeah, that's what I said.
What
Did you not believe me, Billy?
I'm just double checking because I'm making sure we're not just saying that.
I'm on Wikipedia. It's the only good
you
source.
are on Wikipedia. What else did Blue Sky do besides they did Ice Age? Did they do Rio?
Who did Rio? That's another weird anime.
I think Animation Studio made Rio.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was going to bring this up later, but it works here. But
Yeah, they did Rio.
Okay.
And
If it's a
they did
generic,
Ferdinand. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
if it's a generic CGI movie and you don't know the name of the studio that did it off the top of your head, it's probably Blue Sky.
Yeah, but as I was going to say, this film is one of those movies where when I hear like the premise or see the trailer, I'm like, this was not someone's passion project. This was like they had an animator that worked with them for a long time, and they were like, okay, so here's your chance, pitch us a movie, and they were just like, oh, I don't know, it's a spy and he turned to a pigeon. It feels like an idea you kind of just you have like one afternoon, and you're like,
Well, how do you know it's not someone's passion project?
It could be.
He could have
I'm
been
just
really
saying,
into pigeons being spies.
I'm just saying, it feels like one of those ideas where they just like, oh man, I have to give something to my boss. spy turns into a pigeon.
Let me tell you how they came up with it. Somebody used the pun, Spies in Disguise, and another person said, hey, let's do that.
Oh, in disguise. Is that what you're saying?
Spies in Disguise or Spies in the Skies.
Oh.
It works both ways. Have you not noticed that?
No, because they didn't try to, like... Okay, now it makes more sense, but...
Spies in Disguise.
Yeah, but Spies in Disguise could be just a generic spy
Well, it
show,
could
too,
be,
or
but
movie,
I
too.
assume the whole thing was based off of the disguise can be the skies.
Sure, that makes... that's probably more clever than what they were thinking, but...
Should we have that as a pro?
I guess so.
Spies in Disguise can be spies in the skies. It works both ways.
Clever title.
There must have been a lot of money put into it because they got Will Smith and Tom Holland. I mean, I know... What has Tom Holland done besides Marvel? Anything?
I know he's in a couple things. I know he was like in a... Was it a Crusader movie? Or he's like a young priest, I know. Or a friar or whatever, I know that much.
How old is Tom
He'd probably
Holland?
be a priest and a friar, Billy.
Well, it was
24, okay.
He wore
Friars-
the brown habit. And
Friars were wanderers who lived off the charities of others. They didn't have a building to be a priest.
I just said that because he looks like Friar Tuck, his apparel. That's the only reason I said
because
that.
Friar Tuck is a...
He's a wandering... I get it. I just said that because he looks like Friar Tuck.
The whole shave the top of your head thing was kind of a thing that everyone did when they were part
No,
of.
it's Friar Tuck. Friar Tuck is a fashion and style legend.
Let me guess. He's also a giant badger.
Yes, of course he was. It was a weird period in history where there's just a group of mutant animal people for no reason, and they died out apparently.
Or they were hunted.
But yeah, some serious money must have gone into this to get Will Smith and Tom Holland, because Tom Holland, after Marvel, he's going to be, commanding a little bit more, power and influence over these studios, controlling them and all that.
Well, I think
that's how it works, right? That the actors control the studios, right?
Well, only in the case of Picard. Yes.
This movie was created just because someone just pitched a random idea just so they get their boss off their back. I think it was made because they got Will Smith and Tom Holland signed. No, that's what happened. They were like, okay, we got these two actors. What movie can we do? And they were like, Will Smith is a pigeon. I don't know.
See, now I want Will Smith to use the genie technology on Will Smith to turn him into a pigeon.
Yeah.
Put his face on a CGI pigeon body. That's what I want to see. Missed opportunity.
It's like a normal animated film, and then once he turns into the bird, it's his real face on a CGI pigeon.
It's like a very creepy episode of the Magic School Bus.
It's like a Clutch Cargo.
Yeah.
See, I'd love a full length or even just a new series of like Clutch Cargo-esque with the whole you can have real animation, but all the mouth is somebody's mouth
superimposed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that it will get exactly one viewer. That is our dad, who still to this day defends it as the best show on television.
I would go that far. Do we want to get into the trailer now?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's been a while since we've seen this. I forgot this came out in 2019.
All right, let's watch the trailer. Okay, well,
This movie is horrifying.
I was like losing interest until that last scene, and then the world opened up before me.
What is that? Is that a pro? Is that a con? I mean,
I don't know what that means.
it
Oh wait, well maybe.
to explain to the
we should double
audience.
back before we get to that. Maybe
Okay, we'll make a note of it. All right.
I did.
What is?
So I guess the first thing is that he's supposed to be the suave, really cool spy guy, but they got Will Smith. That was a real bad move, I would say.
Why? He's suave, right? I mean,
Well,
allegedly.
Allegedly, some
in my-
circles disagree.
Well, in my opinion, his voice doesn't really match the character. The character is like all grim and stoic, but like what the words coming out of his mouth, he
Well,
sounds.
it's Will Smith.
That's what I'm saying. They made a stoic character, or what looks like a stoic character, and they have Will Smith coming out. So
They could have gone like Idris.
it's such a
no, that would actually.
it's a minor thing, but I just
And he
thought
has
that
a
was
British
interesting.
accent too.
Yeah. I feel you're right. I feel like that character, what's his name, Lance, and Tom Holland's playing Walter, I think.
Yeah. Although Tom Holland's just playing Tom Holland because he looks exactly like.
They threw a picture of him into the computer and said, "Computer, make me a character that Tom Holland can play." And they're like, "Here you go, skinny boy with a massive nose and frazzled hair."
Let's do that Tim and Eric sketch. What was it? Is it Onion? Oh man, it's gonna
Was it
bother.
Tane? And yeah,
I think it's Tane. Yeah.
yeah.
Show me pictures of Tom Holland.
It's Paul Rudd.
Make Tom Holland dance. No.
Can I see a hat wobble? Can I see a Flargenstau? Yeah, it's the Paul Rudd skit. It's one of my favorites.
Hey, Paul, I'm Tane, your latest dancer. I can't wait to entertain you.
Now, Tane I can get into. Could I see a hat wobble?
Yes.
And a Flargenstau?
Yes.
But yeah, as we were saying, I feel like his model does look like it would work better with Idris Elba's voice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just because I'm thinking of James Bond and I want that the English accent, but
Yeah, he's supposed to be more of a James Bond type character, kind of
I mean, would you think that Idris Elba would be cheaper to get than Will Smith, or would you?
that's hard to say.
because Will Smith,
Maybe a little.
he's so hot right now.
He's always perpetually hot. But I don't know. Maybe I feel like maybe we're too mean to Will Smith sometimes.
Maybe, but
I don't know. I guess it's just we're not as in love with him as like the world seems to be, and I don't know. Maybe we want to. We want to love Will Smith, but we like Will Smith. We're just not in love with Will Smith. I don't know what to say.
Who would make a better spy? If we had to replace the CGI character Will Smith, we did Idris Elba. Is there anyone else we think that might be better?
I'm partial to just Samuel L. Jackson, and he's just screaming constantly at Tom Holland.
yeah, that'd be great.
I don't know. I'm
Be
trying
like
to,
Frozone.
yeah, trying to think of another actor. that
What's
would-
his name? Adam Driver.
Adam
It'd be horrible.
Driver. Why Adam
I
Driver?
don't know. I just I see him as a spy, but as a more like a very visceral,
solid.
like he's shooting like a tons of guns at the main bad guy, going more.
I tried to be the best spy I could. I really tried.
Goes over to Tom Holland's character. Your parents were nothing. You're filthy drug traders.
You're nobody. No one will ever like your inventions.
He has a fit and it just kicks him and he gets turned into a pigeon.
I feel like we're confusing Adam Driver with Kylo Ren. Okay,
What's the difference?
it's a little. Okay.
All right, let's get back on track. We need to decipher what pros and cons there were. That I wanted to have a pro. Spies in Disguise is
Yeah, I
clever
forgot.
title, I would say. I do like the title.
At least they didn't go with Spies in the Pies.
Okay.
And he could
I'm
have
not
been,
gonna-
he could have been turned into like an anthropomorphic pie man.
Okay, I didn't even know where you were going with that, and I was like, I'm just going to slip away from the subject.
Not really a joke, but it's a pretty good simulation.
Simulation of a joke. Okay, yeah, I don't know, like I was saying, it was like just looking at, I don't want to say a blank screen, but there was nothing in it that was like, I want to see this.
Oh, there was explosions.
It just
There's
felt
Will
like,
Smith.
and there was explosions.
it just felt like animated movie, the movie, and there's not really that great of a hook. I mean, like, it looks nice. It's
got a pigeon in it.
The action fluid.
You like
but
pigeons, Billy?
Pigeons are fine. But there was just, I don't know. There was nothing compelling me to watch it. I don't know if you guys know what I mean, but
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't have that interesting of a hook, or, like I said, it just feels like an idea that you give, like when you're brainstorming ideas for a movie, and you're like, oh, the guy turns into a pigeon, I'll write that one down and I'll put that in with like 25 other ideas that could work for a movie. And they just happen to pick that one. That's what it feels like. And I'm just like, I mean, okay, put it on for your kids or whatever, but I don't know. I couldn't get excited about it, even though technically what I'm seeing was supposed to be exciting.
It looks nice.
Well, that's what I said. It does look good.
It looks nice.
A lot of hard work went into it.
I like the artistic style of it. I do like that. I didn't have a problem with that.
And the Dreamcast was ahead in graphics fidelity.
Still a Dreamcast.
I'm just wondering if would I like this idea better if they just went all out and it's an animated spy movie. There's no pigeon gimmick. They just tried to do a really visceral, interesting, action-heavy
But Billy,
movie.
Animation films are for kids.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
I know.
That's what I'm wondering.
If they don't have a pigeon, what do they have? All right.
Well, maybe that's my problem with it. Maybe it's the fact that this could be kind of a cool concept. Because, think about James Bond. Those movies feel like cartoons, but they're live action.
Right.
So what if you just translated that into animation? Say you took the ethos of something like, Genndy Tartakovsky's cartoons, like a Samurai Jack or Primal or whatever, and it's all it is just focused on the action, and it's very limited in dialogue, and the narrative is simple, but everything hinges on the style.
Well,
and if you did that with a spy movie, I feel like would be awesome.
We felt that animation is completely untapped, and its creativity and its approach to things. All they are is just children's kind of family comedy movies. So
which is fine, but I don't know. Like you said, we're leaving it untapped.
Yeah.
Well, maybe should we even tell people may not even know the plot of this, because I feel like this is a movie that barely even exists. Because it came out and it actually did pretty good, but it feels like it never came out.
I mean, the plot is simple. They got a bad guy with a claw hand, and then they gotta go take him down, but he's turned into a pigeon, but then they used the pigeon to help take down the bad guy. Maybe there's a little bit of drama, maybe there's a liar reveal, or he insults him. I mean, I don't know. It could be either of those two.
Well, they're gonna have to make up at the end.
I mean, it's nice to see that the Claw has gotten past Inspector Gadget. That's what I like to see.
Keep bringing up Inspector Gadget?
Because that's an obvious reference.
Yeah. This makes me wonder if this is in the same universe as the Inspector Gadget universe. Maybe there'll be a crossover.
We're not doing this bit again.
But it's the Claw.
Look, everything goes back to Inspector Gadget, Billy.
And the Spanish Civil War.
Demonstrably untrue. I haven't heard the Spanish Civil War in a while.
It's a callback. So, Con, we think it would have been better as a straight action movie.
Yeah.
And it's too generic.
Well, I feel like we should leave that out.
I think we should leave it in.
All right. Finally. It's over.
We're breaking up.
I don't know. I'll put generic, but maybe it is. Maybe it feels too much like an average animated kids film.
Well, I mean, that's what you said. It came out, but it doesn't feel like it ever came out,
Okay, yeah.
It has very little presence.
Yeah.
I would say that Will Smith turning into a pigeon has a lot of moral implications.
Moral implications?
Yes.
How so?
Well, if he becomes a pigeon, is his brain now pigeon-fied? Like, how does his brain work now? Because he's dealing with a lot less horsepower up there, I would say. So would he then just become a normal pigeon? Obviously not. So where's all that? You know what I'm talking about? Where's all that memory going?
We're getting metaphysical here.
Yeah, so maybe his body, much like an octopus, where a lot of their brain is like in their tentacles, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe his brain is displaced throughout his body. So he's super sensitive.
Well, I mean, you
to
gotta think about it. All that matter's gotta go somewhere. It doesn't just vanish when you shrink something down.
Yeah, no.
The matter has to go somewhere. Maybe,
so it's just compressing it, basically.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he has the form of a pigeon, but it's like compressing an image file.
Yeah, maybe that's part of the plot. Maybe they have to find a way to defeat the villain and cure him before his brain explodes under the immense pressure of being compressed into a pigeon skull.
And also, there was a bunch of pigeon... So maybe pigeons are just actually incredibly intelligent.
Like crows and ravens.
Because he had a bunch of pigeon friends there.
Yeah.
And so now that he's been turned into a pigeon, now pigeons are suddenly smarter or like sentient, essentially. Because they weren't before that he got turned into a pigeon, but now they're sentient and they're going to go on an adventure with
him. The pigeons looked like the people that were in the car. Did they get turned to pigeons too?
Oh, really? I didn't notice
I don't know. They were there for a split second. I was like, wait, did they get turned to pigeons too? Does everyone get turned into pigeons? Who wants to bet the main bad guy at the end of this film gets turned into a pigeon?
Probably, or some other animal, yeah. So you're thinking, because he was turned into a pigeon, that somehow, like, Mandela effect, paradigm shifted his
I'm not
universe
sure.
into a...
That's what I'm saying, but all of a sudden, he's hanging out with pigeons. I think pigeons are already a lot smarter, and now that he has become a pigeon,
He can see it.
he can
He's aware
see
of
it.
Okay.
He's uncovered the secret pigeon empire.
But he also has teeth. Even as a pigeon. I didn't notice
I noticed that they do give bird characters teeth a lot of
I don't
times.
like it. It's weird.
I'm curious why I guess they would look odd if they didn't.
I
They
don't
wouldn't
know.
look cute anymore? I don't know.
It's weird.
You put teeth on a bird, it looks horrifying.
No, I know in real life it does, but maybe there's some like character design thing that, because like Daffy has teeth a lot of times. And,
Well, only when he grins and stuff.
well, yeah, that's what maybe it's like it's context sensitive teeth.
Maybe it's like a cat, They can sheath and unsheath their
Unsheath their teeth.
They can unsheath and sheath their teeth.
Yeah, they keep their teeth hidden, but
You can cut this out. Do we want to touch on the bestiality question here?
Look,
I was gonna
right
bring
there.
that up.
Look right there, that
Yeah.
look right there.
It's like the King Arthur and the squirrel situation. It's
Yeah,
like,
so-
if
Back to the morality thing. If he mates with a female pigeon,
Will it have human intelligence?
well, they're
has he
already
committed some heinous sin, some heinous cardinal sin
So you-
against man and God.
And nature, yes.
This is also a question that occasionally comes up in D&D with druids.
Oh, we
You never want to go there.
don't go there.
Look, I don't think they're going to try and answer that question in this. I would give them a lot of props if they did, but I feel like that's a con. They don't address... I don't know how to phrase it.
They don't address it. We'll just leave it at it.
Okay, they don't address it. Okay, but as we were saying, they listed a lot of pigeon facts, because he was trying to... Walter was trying to sell the idea of being a pigeon to Lance.
Right.
And some of them, they got the weird vision because their eyes are on the side of their head. But he said that pigeons can see in slow motion.
I wonder if they just brought up a Wikipedia article about pigeons. Like, yeah, there we go. That's all we need to know about pigeons.
It comes up. Let's see.
What does that mean, though? Their brain processes at a higher rate?
Slow motion world for small animals. Smaller animals tend to perceive time as if it is passing in slow motion, a new study has shown. Insects and small birds, for example, can see more information in 1 second than a larger animal, such as an elephant.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. I never knew that.
But how's he able to function with Walter? Shouldn't Walter be constantly going...
Yeah, is it not that dramatic? Is it just slightly more? Or I don't know. You learned something today, folks. We don't normally have trivia on here, but hey.
We have it.
You guys always undermine me when I can't think of what to say. Thanks a lot.
It's because we don't know what to say, Billy.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we're the perfect people to have a podcast. People who struggle to put thoughts together. Wow, this is a great idea. Let's talk for a full hour and 30 minutes about something that we haven't even seen, which means there's no subject or context. This is a brilliant idea.
Okay, since we're running out of stuff, we have to talk about the egg.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That's when my eyes lit up and I was like,
This is the best movie ever.
this movie has something to talk about.
Okay.
I have a theory, but go ahead.
So the first question is, did it change his sex / gender?
Well, we didn't say in the trailer at the very end, Walter hugs Lance in pigeon form and he squirts out an egg.
Which for birds it is let's not talk about it.
They're not Yoshi. I'll just say that.
Which implies that Lance, who is a man, has now become a female pigeon.
Or at least a hermaphrodite.
Right.
Are birds hermaphroditic? I didn't know.
I don't think they can be, but
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
Walter didn't bring that up.
Which means that if that little icon with the female pigeon is correct,
That's a lesbian pigeon.
It's now a potential lesbian relationship.
You know, I really
It's like a pigeon femme fatale.
I really hate visual gags that do stuff like that and just expect us to forget when it's creepy.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, because I think, because I could have sworn I saw a pigeon flying around. I think that he owns the pigeon, Walter.
Oh.
Has Lance become his pigeon, or like fused fly style with the pigeon? Is my question, because like, I mean, he's a male, but he's fused with a female pigeon, so he's got, female pigeon anatomy.
So he's disguising as a female pigeon, essentially.
So the disguise go even further,
Right. Well, I'd have to do something at the genetic level, right?
I guess.
Like chromosomal.
Yeah. Well, then. Yeah. Well, where are his chromosomes then in this toxic brew
Would he
of
technically
insanity?
be mentally challenged?
What?
We discussed that, though.
Would he lose chromosomes in this
No,
trait?
he gained.
Gain chromosomes.
He gained chromosomes, but he
because
would
the
have
bird attached.
but he'd have the
But
full,
if they're
full DNA
converging-
of a pigeon, so I don't think
Yeah.
it would be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying it could be very progressive,
The bigger problem,
What is a Down syndrome lesbian pigeon?
Yes, that's very progressive.
I guess so.
the
yeah.
bigger problem I see is that Walter, Tom Holland's character,
Can we just call him
What?
Tom Holland?
I mean, it is.
I mean,
What?
it's basically him.
what did he experiment on? What living things did he experiment on to get this result? All right, this is not something that you do overnight.
But
That's what you come
but
with.
in the trailer, he was saying it was supposed to make him disappear. So I think he was
it's
supposed to
supposed to
turn him
be-
invisible.
I don't think
but
it
it
was
turned him
though.
into a pigeon.
He even said it was like bio something. He would have just said invisibility.
Yeah, but in the when they put the chemical into that like test tube thing, the item vanished. So was the concept like it alters your genetics in order to blend in with your surroundings? Like it's some biological
Does it make you transparent?
camouflage? Well,
But then only working albinos?
what are you talking about?
I was talking about the Invisible Man.
Oh.
Biodynamic concealment. So is it supposed to? So bio means, I guess, living. Life. Dynamic means
Like,
Changing.
Yeah.
So is it supposed to constantly change him, and he just got stuck as a pigeon? So maybe he'd go along and he'd be in the trash, so he'd be a rat, and then he gets out on the street, so he'd be a piece of trash floating by or something. I don't know.
I don't know, because the
That's not what the demonstration
the
showed.
demonstration was just transparency or invisibility. So did maybe like the kid's pigeon get some like feathers or like DNA in the mixture, and that's why he became a pigeon? I don't know.
So wait, would this have, if the pigeon did not contaminate it, maybe, which is our working theory, would he have just become a? I'm gonna hate myself for forgetting what it was.
Like it erased him from existence? Or
No,
An amoeba.
Guys, the kids who can turn into animals.
An animal.
Animorph. Yeah, would he become an animorph? Because then he wouldn't necessarily be tied to a pigeon form,
Yeah.
right? If it's biodynamic, it means he can change his form.
If it was intended to turn him into animals, but I don't know, because it didn't seem to do that. But that was a complaint I had. I feel like this idea would be way more interesting if instead of he's just stuck as a pigeon, he could turn into other animals throughout. Like you said, a rat or
a piece of trash.
yeah, the animal, a piece of trash, the popular animal.
Jay brought that up. I was like, wait.
Well, I was assuming he meant just like biodynamic and that he could turn into anything in the surroundings. But
Right, environmental was what I was thinking of. I was really thinking of another creature.
turns into a brick, the other animal. The other animal
He turns
species.
into a bucket of water.
Yeah. That was the stupidest thing about the Wonder Twins. The girl can turn into like lions and all this awesome stuff, and he's like, well, I can turn into a bucket of water or a puddle. I can turn into anything involving water.
Well, it was
great.
supposed to be objects, but just being a bucket of water was just like.
Wait, was he object?
Yeah,
was object.
You could turn the object.
Why was he always water?
I don't. Well, actually, I think he only did a bucket of water once, but everyone kind of figured out that he's useless and it's a stupid power. So whenever they make fun of him, they just have him turn to a bucket
Well, it
of
was
water.
that.
I could have sworn he became a puddle too.
It
or
was
something.
Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, okay.
Remember, he
Yeah.
gave his parents power, and he just transformed into a bucket of water.
They were
Yeah.
making fun of the Wonder Twins.
Yeah.
Okay, my brain has been tainted by parodies.
Like, all I remember is one point he turned into a giant pair of scissors, and they used to cut something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He did turn to a bucket of water once, but
Okay.
It's just because he doesn't know how to use
he
it.
turned into a gun or a tank or something. But no, he turned into weird, useless things.
But I feel like that's a more interesting concept. But
What, turning into a bucket of water?
I mean, in this movie, I guess, but just him turning into anything or other animals.
Yeah. An animorph situation.
Yeah, because I don't know. The whole he turns into an animal has been for some reason a popular plot, at least in some kids' movies.
Yeah, ever since The Fly, the popular kids movie, The Fly.
Wait,
I was
wait a
thinking of-
second. He can only turn into various states of water. It's not
I was
object.
right.
Why did he turn to scissors?
Who turned into scissors then? What am I remembering?
It was water. It's even
Did the monkey turn into a bucket?
I don't know.
Where did the bucket of water come
He
from?
can turn into anything related to water.
Where did the scissors come?
Zan can transform into water at any state, solid, liquid, gas, and add to his mass by incorporating water in his immediate area.
I'm gonna have to
He
look.
become a humanoid ice giant. Why was he doing this in the cartoon? Just turned into a bucket of water, and then his sister turns into like a tiger, and she throws water out on him to put like a fire out.
Oh boy.
What am I remembering? Scissors then? That's weird.
We are off the rails, folks.
Well, no, the Wonder Twins are much more important. There needs to be a Wonder Twins cinematic universe.
That's called DC.
I know. Why can't DC make a Wonder Twins movie?
Give him time.
Okay, Jenny would typically transform into a large eagle, and Zan would transform into water, jumping into a bucket, which Gleek would be holding while clutched by Jana and her eagle form. Jana.
Oh, that's how they traveled, isn't it? Yeah.
That's why it's a bucket of water, because that's how they travel. Oh, that's right.
They're great against very minor fires.
Man, who could transform into scissors though? I remember that, but I don't know.
Plastic Man?
Did he like turn to ice scissors?
No, it wasn't like that. I honestly, it's distant memory, so let's not get into it. All right, back to Spies in Disguise.
Yeah.
What did we decide on the egg?
I don't
Is
know.
is it a con, a pro?
It's a visual
just feels
gag
like
gone
nothing.
awry.
Yeah, it just feels like one of those.
Oh, birds
Put it in our
lay
nothing section.
birds lay eggs. You know,
Write that down.
they're funny. It's like putting udders on a male cow.
That's
like a
true.
barnyard.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it has a plot reason or if
It
it's
doesn't
just
have
a
a
lazy
plot.
joke.
No. In all honesty, there's no plot reason. It's just the lazy, dumb joke that they didn't think would have wider implications on the story.
But they were wrong.
Well, I mean, I guess the Wonder Twins were relevant. They turned into animals. He turns into a pigeon.
Yeah.
Why are we still on Wonder Twins?
I was just trying to justify it. That's all.
I don't know. I'm just. I don't know. I've lost the ability to move on.
Well, I think we need some random reviews.
Already.
Well, I don't know. What are we doing next? Don't you have articles or? Do you
I
have
have some stuff to do.
Oh, let's do it.
I don't know. I felt like
You felt defeated?
winded or just bamboozled, just trying to
Discombobulate.
trying to figure out how this movie works.
First, discombobulate. Dazed, discombobulate. Distract target. Discombobulate.
But yeah, let's go ahead and move on.
But one thing is that I feel like the biggest problem is that now Will Smith's character can just die from anything.
What? Oh yeah.
I mean, even him chopping that guy would have just broken all the bones in his wings and he'd just be useless. He fell off a building, so maybe this is actually an assassination plot.
What a really roundabout way to
Yeah, he
At
infiltrated.
that point, why doesn't he go? Hey, Lance, you're a pigeon, right? Let me show you my new invention. And he takes out a shotgun and shoots him.
Well, it's because the other guy's a pacifist. He's an assassin pacifist.
Or he didn't, or he's been set up. The villain tainted his invention to turn Lance into a pigeon.
Why? Why not just poison him at that point?
Because it's a convoluted villain plan.
At this point, he's increasingly moral. Like that big guy should have just instantly killed him, but he didn't for some reason. It's weird.
Yeah.
He did the monster thing where he just throws the main protagonist around over and over again.
Just throw him. Yeah, I love the big monster has you in his hand.
He kills everyone in one punch, and then when he gets to the protagonist, he says, "Ugh," and he walks over, grabs it, throws him again somewhere else.
Yeah, instead of ripping you to pieces, he just tosses you lightly. Okay, but speaking of pacifism, that's kind of has to do with the plot. This isn't so important now, but it will make more sense later. When I bring up another thing. Basically, the point of the movie is teaching kids violence isn't the answer, because like the director thought that spy movies were too violent, so he's like, I'll make a spy movie for kids.
I think
I don't necessarily have a problem with pacifism as a concept and as a character motivation. / conflict. There usually always is a conflict. How do I resolve the situation without killing anyone or even hurting anyone? And then, like in Trigun, which will actually come up later, like in Trigun, where he bears the cost of his pacifism.
Of not
essentially.
fighting.
Yeah, but that's a little too heavy for kids.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to teach kids not to be violent because you don't want them beating each other up. But
They're gonna do it anyways.
Well, that's true.
they're going to do it anyway. They play Fortnite where you shoot each other with guns.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the reasoning of like in a society we have to learn to get along, and you know, a message like that makes sense. But for your fun spy movie, I want it violent. The violence is the fun part. You know, I don't go to the movies to learn lessons. I go to see people die. Okay.
It's like cake without icing.
Yeah, it's just antithetical, and the whole plot is him like he stands out because he doesn't make deadly inventions, and he's got to prove himself. You know, like you can defeat the enemies without killing them with a pin grenade or something. You know, but I just thought it was funny that the director watched James Bond and thought that they were problematically violent.
This movie meant for adults is too violent.
But I mean, this doesn't really matter. It's just kind of setting the stage for what I'm going to bring up in a bit here.
Listen, I don't know what people think about children, but children aren't going to, unless there's something wrong with them, they aren't going to be like, oh, I watched this violent movie, I'm going to kill someone now. They don't think like that.
I don't know. But that wasn't even the point I was trying to make.
I'm just saying in general, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta learn to fight back against, you know, evil people and bullies, you know?
Well, that's another thing, is like, he's clearly doing violence, at least at first, and stopping the villains. I mean, if you're going to defeat bad guys, some level of violence is needed.
Well, only Tom Holland has a pacifist motif, right? And Will Smith does not.
I'm assuming he's going to, at the end, learn to defeat his enemy without violence? I don't know.
Well, is it violence or is it killing? Because there's kind of two different types of pacifism, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know.
I haven't seen the movie.
That's a problem with this podcast.
It's not the problem, Billy. It's the solution.
Okay, but that's kind of setting the stage for the fan fiction.
There's fan fiction.
I realized that if it's an animated film,
It has fan fiction.
yeah, some preteen out there is going to write a story about it. And I was like, jackpot.
Who are these people?
They're children. Just they see a movie, they like it, they want to. It's a good way to
Maybe instead of like
get into
writing a
writing.
film against violence, maybe make one against fan fiction.
the true violence in the world.
Yes.
Violence against English and good taste. But no, I mean, I support fan fiction because it gets kids into writing, and it gets them interested in writing, and it's a way to express yourself creatively.
And it gives my favorite YouTubers content.
Yeah. Okay, but so there was. I couldn't read it because it was in Spanish, but apparently there was a Lance X Walter romantic fan fiction, which has disturbed me because he is a child. Okay, I'm glad that I couldn't read it. I did translate it, and it was difficult to understand because the Google Translate isn't perfect.
What do you mean? It is perfect. It helps me talk to people.
But it was something about smoking and Walter not approving of him smoking. I don't know. It was hard to follow.
Does Lance even smoke in the movie?
I don't know. I don't know if he does. I doubt it.
I don't think he can because that would give him a high rating.
Yeah, they don't smoke in kids' films. I don't know. I don't know if it was supposed to be like an adjective.
You can show violence in a kids' movie, but you cannot show smoking.
Yeah. I don't know if it was an adjective that got translated wrong or what, but that's not the real interesting thing. The real story here is a fan fiction by the name of, if it would let me click on it, Learning All That Transpired. It's a catchy title by Toon Anime Fan.
I wonder if he likes anime.
So, going back to like the premise of the movie is that, finding nonviolent solutions via his pacifistic tech.
Yes.
I think what happens is at the end of the movie they try to start implementing the nonviolent tech. And so this fan fiction is about the aftermath and how the people that work at the lab or whatever, they don't want to implement the new tech, and they kind of resent Walter. So the author's OC shows up at the lab to help change their minds.
And what is the OC's name?
I think it's just K. I'm not really sure
really?
What it is. I'm kind of burying the lead intentionally. How this is coming about is the funny part.
Okay.
So, because I didn't want to just reveal it straight out. So a letter just shows up out of nowhere, ends up in... Which character is Joy, I wonder? Is that some, like, lab technician?
Is it, like, the girl in charge of the spy operations?
Maybe. Okay, so a letter appears out of nowhere. Joy then speaks. All right, I'm going to read this because this seems to be important and we can find out where it came from. She begins. Greetings, all of you in the agency. I'm not an enemy, so please relax. I know many of you are probably wondering why Jenkins is wanting to switch to the ideas that Walter comes up with. The answer is not that simple. So I decided to bring you somewhere where you can watch the events that happened the last few days in the form of a movie to get a better understanding of it. Sincerely, your friend Kay. And then Kay just shows up out of nowhere. I take it that you're Kay, Joyce says, stepping forward. Yep. Also, all of you that are judgmental, if you have nothing to say, don't say anything at all. She turns to Walter. Hi, Walter. I just want to say that you are my favorite person in the movie. Okay, I skipped something important. So back up there, when she shows up, she says, they're like, well, where did you come from? And she's like, I know about that sort of thing because in my world, you are a movie, which is what we are going to be watching pretty soon. At least when my brother gets the technology to work.
Oh, so this is a transmigrator story.
Yeah, so she comes into their... I don't know where she came from, but the OC comes into their universe to show them the movie to persuade them to enact the changes that they need to enact at the end of the movie. It's like that scene in Spaceballs where they watch the movie to figure out where the heroes went or figure out what happened.
Yeah.
So it's got like it's got another chapter to it, but basically they all just sit down and start watching the movie and then just like commenting on what's happening.
How the conflict is just resolved by sitting around and watching something.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, that's because the beginning is just the setup, And then the second chapter is just kind of a shot-by-shot walkthrough of the film and the dialogue and everyone reacting to it as they're watching it. The characters are reacting to the movie they were in.
So it's like an MSD3K.
Yeah, but with the people in the movie.
Wow, that's very meta.
And apparently he or she was writing it as they watch the film, so they don't have like a script. They're just like pulling the dialogue from the film.
What are some of their comments though? Like,
let's see.
because we could like take it up and do like a script reading or something. Well, that's the bonus material.
I guess we could. Because like apparently there's like a tear-jerking scene or emotional scene at the beginning.
Yeah, because like Walter's the son of a police officer or something like that.
Yeah, I guess the police officer's like, listen, I'm out there keeping the neighborhood safe, but one day your ideas, your gadgets, are going to keep the world safe. Or is his mom who's a cop? Or someone, because it says she. She got that. Walter smiles slightly while Lance nudges him. She got that right. This causes Walter to laugh a bit, momentarily forgetting his emotional pain. It's just stuff like that. It's just like,
his emotional pain.
Yeah.
Deep hurting.
It's just like that. It's just like there's dialogue, and then somebody in the group reacts somehow, or we get their feelings on what that means to them.
This is a magical concept.
I just thought it was a hilarious idea for a fan fiction. It's more creative than your average fan
Yeah,
fiction.
it's very
honestly.
creative.
Yeah. But I mean, that was the gist of it. I'm not sure. I guess that just kind of lets us know more about like where the plot ends up, and it ties into the whole like non-violent aspect of the movie.
Yeah, they abandoned all the fun gadgets for boring ones.
Now imagine if after Spies in Disguise, it completed, all of a sudden this movie is actually just like really double its length, because afterwards they all get in there and sit down and watch the movie that they're in.
It's like a documentary attached to not documentary, a commentary attached to the actual
movie. Can you
movie.
believe staying up there for 4 hours? You think the movie's over, and then it happens? It just keeps going.
It's after the credits.
Yes.
Plays after the credits.
I mean, to be fair, maybe that's just maybe it's not a fan fiction. Maybe they were just documenting what actually happens at the end of the movie.
And we just think it's a fan fiction.
Yeah, like it's just a writing exercise, just sum up what's happening in the film in your own words. And this movie is actually like 4 hours long. And it's just, I remember that scene where I fell off the building. I was scared. This scene is very emotional. It's where my mom leaves in the morning or whatever. I don't know. I guess this is one of his parents die, and that's why he wants.
Pretty sure it's the mom.
The mom.
I'm sure we had a tragic mom death.
Yeah.
Which, as you know from Wonder Park, we have decided we are against parental death.
Yeah.
So.
That's the con. But okay, it's possible con. This may just be the fan fiction, but the movie is like twice as long, and they force you to watch the characters watching the movie, which may be a pro in a way, because I've never heard
Imagine
of that.
an actual animated movie like that, where instead of you have it's actually Lion King 1.5.
I was
It's
thinking
exactly
that.
that.
Yeah, but more in real time,
Yes.
not occasional. Yeah.
You see the characters standing around, and there's a smaller screen that you actually watch the movie through.
I don't know. Is that a pro con, or I did put it in cons? But I guess that
We'll leave it in cons.
It's
minor
interesting,
con.
but it's way too long and annoying.
Yeah. I forgot that in the beginning we actually had special cons like ghost cons and tiny cons and tiny pros and stuff like
That's
that.
right. Yeah. I don't know what to call that.
Just a con.
Okay.
I don't think no one wants to see this movie twice.
Yeah. Not in that format, at least.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to random reviews. And I wanted to talk about it's either a conspiracy or it's just like something that's happening, but there's a lot of like theft and plagiarism in terms of the reviews. Okay. So we got Spider Parker 4 months ago, all right, I am an 18-year-old, walked into this movie with three also 18-year-old friends, thinking this movie was going to be a complete waste of time. I usually cringe at kids' movies because of the humor, and have to say, in the first maybe 10 to 15 minutes of the movie, I was cringing because I was bracing myself. Once we really got into the thick of it, I and my friends were actually surprisingly laughing quite a bit. So it's a typical review, right? Mm-hmm. And there's more to it. Then I go down, and I've got Sakib. He also gives it 5 stars. Oh, no, sorry. Spider Parker gave it 4 stars. He gives it 5 stars. And then he lists 5 out of 4. I'm a 29-year-old, walked in this movie with 3 also 19-year-old friends, thinking this movie was going to be a complete waste of time. I usually cringe at kids' movies because of the humor, and have to say, in the first maybe 10 to 15 minutes of the movie, I was cringing because I was bracing myself. Once we really got into the thick of it, I and my friends were actually surprisingly laughing quite a bit. They're exactly the same.
Well, it seems like there's a
consistent. Oh, you mean the movie's just so
good.
consistent that...
No, I mean there's a consensus amongst the reviewers that this is, it's a good movie.
Yeah, that's clearly
so
takeaway from
Spider Parker 4 months ago posted his review directly. Actually, Sakib is ahead of his, so this is not the original.
Huh.
But so
there's no plagiarism.
No, he stole it completely.
Well, why would he do that? Why does he have the gauge?
Yeah,
what's his motivation, Jake? You're not making any sense.
All right, here's a small one. This is from Prakash. He gives it a 4 out of 5. It's all about people and animals naturally having different skills and finding a way to coexist without throwing someone away. Everybody is useful. This movie was hilarious and is one that can be enjoyed by people of all ages. This is a must-see, and the animation is amazing and well-detailed. The studio did an outstanding job with the scripting and the layout of the movie. When pigs can fly and birds of a feather do eventually flock together. All right, so...
Are there flying pigs in this movie?
I don't know what that means, but then I have Kristanacci? I don't know. It's really weird. 4 out of 5. No man is an island when pigs can fly, and birds of a feather do eventually flock together. Upbeat, inclusive family animated film of extreme and opposite personality types, accepting each other and themselves. This one's a lot longer, but... It's all skipping way down. It's all about people and animals naturally having different skills and finding a way to coexist without throwing someone away. Everybody is useful.
Well, I see more consensus. Consensus. A lot of people.
I actually don't know because they're both 5 months ago. So did the longer review take the elements of that review, or did the shorter one?
That's like.
It's really weird.
Well, listen, there's a lot of people on this planet.
It's weirdly unsettling. It's like when they played all those clips of like news reporters saying the exact same thing, in a row.
It could just be a coincidence, I mean, it's not.
Right.
There's a lot of people in this world. It's no.
No, but it's clearly something bizarre is happening. I don't know if
it's just people write reviews for a movie, Billy. I don't see the problem.
Is Blue Sky like inflating its good reviews? I often wonder how many times studios do
no,
that.
Billy, it can't because they're giving it 4 out of 5 stars. If they were inflating it, it'd be perfect 5s.
No, well, see, that's the brilliant thing. 4 is still really good, but it doesn't seem as suspicious as 5 stars.
What do they have to gain?
I don't know where the bit begins and ends with you here.
The last one isn't as notable because it's from 2 different sites. One from Google Reviews, one from IMDb, but it is just copied over. Weird. I think it's probably the same person.
Oh.
But it's Screws a Link and Pink Array. I'm not sure. But they said the film is essentially a ripoff of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball with a tinge of Trigun mixed in there. So that was the most notable thing.
Wasn't Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, wasn't that Blue Sky as well? Or was that...
I don't think it was.
No, I guess the style is different.
Maybe.
Well, no. What studio did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? At the top of your head, what is it?
I don't know.
It's Blue Sky.
I don't know if that's true, though.
All right, you look it up. I'm going to get into our actual reviews. Those were...
But that's just odd because, Luke does have a point. If it's not the studio, what is the motive of stealing... Because, you don't have to put a review up.
No.
It's not like it's a school assignment So why would you copy someone else's review?
I don't know. And one of these isn't necessarily even a copy. They just used a lot of this, or it is a copy, but someone either added more or took away from it.
I know. This is...
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. I've never seen that
Is there
before.
an algorithm writing reviews?
It was Sony Pictures.
Yeah, I like... Yeah.
My joke didn't work.
Well, I feel like if you can't think of it, it's either Sony or Blue Sky. Sony's another one where I'm like, I don't know, what do they make?
Emoji Movie.
Well, to be fair, I just realized I do know what they make. They did make Into the Spider-Verse, which is good, so, you know.
Yeah, they have some stuff.
Fair enough.
All right, so these are the normal reviews that we all enjoy.
I don't know what to think about that. It's very puzzling.
It's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a pro or con in there, but it's odd.
We got
Bot.
Meghana Trikovala. 4 out of 5 stars.
Maybe just do the first names.
Good, not great. Showed the pacifist point of view amidst of war and eye for eye fights. Tom Holland is irreplaceable in this movie. No one could reprise.
He's literally in it. They put it.
No one could reprise his stupidity and cuteness. Although
I love Tom Holland's stupidity.
Put that in the pros. Tom Holland's stupid.
Although I can imagine Will Smith's role being able to reprise perfectly by Tom Cruise, Johnny Drop, and Hollywood hero who had done narcissistic action film. Oh yes, Dwayne Johnson. Movie with
What?
Well, I'm assuming Johnny Drop was supposed to be Johnny Depp, but
Okay.
Johnny Drop.
I was going to ask who Johnny Drop is.
It's Johnny Drop. Don't you know Johnny Drop? He was in that movie, that action movie with the secret agent. And all
Oh
that.
yeah, that's right. I remember
Johnny Drop.
Johnny Drop.
He was there with Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Dwayne Johnson seems like Dwayne Johnson's like maladjusted like evil brother. He's
I
got
am
like
Dwayne.
Cross-eyed and his head's kind of misshapen.
I am Dwayne Johnson.
He's not, they're not done. Movie was actually similar to Dange Johnson's The Rundown.
Dwayne is fairly a hard name to spell.
So remember that movie with Johnny Drop, Dwayne Johnson, and Dange Johnson? It was a smash hit.
Who could forget?
The Rundown. Nerdy comical character forced to work with some action dude. It's entertaining and worth watching because of Tom Holland.
Tom really likes Tom Holland,
Was that DeWitt Johnson? Or-
and we know that.
So they spelled it Dawate. Johnson.
And
Dawat, right?
listen,
Dawat, yeah.
We do know that they do like Tom Holland because he's the only one whose name is spelled correctly.
And then there was Dange Johnson, Dange. It's a whole family. We got.
Can you smell what the stone is baking? Is this more like
And then Johnny Drop.
Is this more mutated clones a la Mark Wahlberg?
It could be. It could just be his family that no one really talks about. It's my brother Dwayne and,
I can
and
see them in
Dange.
my head. They look like him, but their heads look like clay that you squeezed a little bit too much and deformed slightly. Johnny Drop. He was in that Pirates of the Indian Ocean, right?
Yeah.
No, I think it was the Black Sea.
Pirates of the Black Sea.
Very, very small theater, but still good.
Pirates of the Lake in my backyard.
All right, then we have Nasir, 5 stars. I love this gluten-free breadcrumb, no violence movie. It was nice that even they called him and his gadgets weird, he still succeeded in taking Robo Hand Town. I recommend this 100%. Will Smith and Tom Holland were outstanding. This should have no bad reviews. The biggest lesson is that violence is not the answer. I hope you like this movie. If you didn't, then...
So they got him.
He realized he was going to go against his nonviolent ways, and he just had to stop.
I'm sorry, I love this phrase. He still succeeded in taking Robo Hand Town.
a town.
I don't know what that means.
He took over Robo Hand Town.
Wait, is he like challenging him to soccer?
Yes, Tom Holland took away the villain's town, the town he's from,
Yeah.
Robo Hand Town.
Robo Hand
Then
Town.
Robo Hand went and built another town.
So apparently, maybe we're a little off base, but apparently this whole like non-violent thing seems to resonate.
Well, like, can we put that down as as gluten-free? Not a lot of movies are gluten-free nowadays.
Gluten-free breadcrumb. All right.
But maybe we're just savage Neanderthals who need violence to stay engaged. You know, maybe people are longing for something a little more polished and sanitized and, I don't know, heartwarming.
Yeah.
Maybe we're wrong.
Well, You'll Party from IMDb gave it 8 out of 10, and it's titled Wow. Watching the trailer and clips, it seemed it was going to be an okay movie. I was wrong. Watch it. Please do it. Now, please. It's good. Please, if you got the time and money, watch it. Thank you. Watch it. Watch. Yes, thanks. It's good. Good. Yeah.
Now, I think a pigeon wrote that review.
I love the idea
If you got the time and money, watch it.
of desperate reviews.
Please.
Not explaining why you should, just begging. There needs to be like a marketing scheme.
Actually, they did do that as a marketing scheme for one movie I will not mention.
Say it and I'll edit it out.
They're filthy junk traders who sold you off for drinking money.
I feel like that's also like Captain Marvel or whatever, but
Either one of them.
Is that like a personal attack or something? Or...
All right. Then we have Haley O'Connor, 5 stars from Google. I was very disappointed when it was only in the La Grande and Backer Theater, only for 1 weekend. Birds are way smarter and cooler than stupid dogs. What is a dog? It is the devil's pet. I think this will be the best movie since Descents 3.
The devil's pet. Oh, wait, to put that
What
as
is
a
a
con.
dog but a miserable pile of secrets?
But enough talk. Have that E.
the devil's pet is a dog. I mean,
Man's
to be fair,
best friend.
It's Hades' pet is a dog.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think, wouldn't his pet be a goat?
I don't know.
The devil's
Okay,
pet.
so Pro, it has birds.
Yeah, if you really like birds and hate dogs, apparently.
Well, you can like both. They're not mutually
No,
exclusive.
devil's pet.
Devil's pet. What is a dog?
You're wrong. Mankind is ill need of a pet such as you.
Alright, then we have Maya X Nightwing, 4 stars. I haven't watched it, but I'm putting 4 stars. Because you can't start a sentence with and. And you did. Other than that, I've seen the ad. It was very funny. I believe this will be a very good movie.
First of all,
Are they harping our bit
they're
again?
chomping our flavor yet again.
You can't start a sentence with and.
Technically you can, but it's frowned upon.
Comma, and you did. Although it's not starting a sentence, but still.
What is that?
I don't know.
Where do these people come? Who are these people? I beseech you. Who are these people?
Oh, Billy, we're not done.
It's such an esoteric nonsense joke. Why would you? Okay, Spies in Disguise is out. I haven't seen it. I'm going to review it, and I'm going to say something about using "and" at the beginning of a sentence. How do these thoughts come together?
They sound like my
How?
kind of people.
I don't know.
America, Spain.
Billy, I've got 3 reviews that are more insane than anything that's come before.
Okay.
One of them I don't even know is usable.
Okay.
I can't decide where I should put it. Usually I like to save the best for last, but I can't decide with this one.
Well, maybe you should just share with the class.
Okay, well, maybe do it at the end, and if it's bad, I can just cut it out.
Okay, we'll do it at the end just because it's crazy.
And maybe
All right.
if people really want to know, we can do it as bonus material.
That's fine.
Put behind a paywall.
All right. So we got Tyson AC. It's all cap, by the way. 5 stars.
Of course.
Who says pigs can't fly?
What is with the pigs and flying?
I don't know.
There's got to be some flying pigs in
I
there.
think it's going to be a great movie, unless if you're a guy like Greg Heffley. He would really love to see this movie, but he can't. He's allowed to watch G-rated movies for the rest of the year. He'll see it on an Android box in his home in Indiana when his older than my grandpa, Jonathan Winters, Ernest Borgnine, Danny DeVito, Robin Williams, and Don Reimer, which will be 95 years from now.
Greg Heffley rings a bell. I mean, all those are actors.
Isn't Greg Heffley have something to do with Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
Oh yeah, he wrote. Yeah, that's why I heard the name. He wrote. Yeah, he wrote it.
Because this guy's icon is Diary of the Wimpy Kid. Yeah. So I don't really understand what he's talking about at all. Why is he listing actors?
I don't know.
Jonathan Winters. Who's Ernest Borgnine?
Borgnine. He's Mermaid Man.
Yeah, he was Mermaid Man.
And there's Danny DeVito, Robin Williams, and Don Reimer, which will be 95 years from now.
Well, like,
Is this guy a prophet?
half of those people are dead. First of all,
They're gonna bring him back in the future, 95 years from now.
I don't even know what to say about this. Again, why? Why you do this to me?
Who says pigs can't fly, though?
What's with the pigs?
No, literally no one is talking about flying pigs.
Does Lance get turned into a pig with wings somewhere like, near the end of the
There must
movie?
be some gag or something where pigs get mixed with pigeons. I don't know. But more to the point, what is this? What is any of this?
I don't know. It's insane.
I want to make jokes, but I literally can't get beyond it.
Okay, well, he's not the worst.
Okay.
This guy, he's amazing. Brace yourselves. You're gonna have to physically brace yourselves, guys. It's Caleb. It's Caleb. 5 stars. I liked it so much that I peed on my booty. Then I went to my friend's house, got my dad's gun, and I shot him in the face because I wanted to. And also soap on my bote. I'm not crazy. Just do what I see you. Make sure you put extra soap on your bote.
Who is this person's name?
Caleb Pugh, P-U-G-H.
Put him in the devil's pet
Yeah.
area. He'll be a
I'm not even gonna vindicate that
today's
with a
devil's
response.
pet.
But
See, that's why they're violent, you know? That kind of goes against the message of the movie.
in the middle,
Told you to brace yourselves to change your
I
life,
did
man.
not brace myself enough.
Look, he liked it so much he peed on his booty.
I mean, it's like obviously, dumb, childish humor, and then he murders his friend in the middle of it too,
Yeah.
very graphically. What? Okay.
Going against the whole ethos of this film.
I swear these people are now just writing reviews, so we'll read them on the podcast. It feels
But
like
they don't even know about us. Nobody does.
somebody's got to be giving this attention somehow, and or maybe they're just doing it to mess with people who are looking up reviews or something. I don't know.
All right. Now, the review that left me baffled.
Oh, that wasn't the review?
No. Baffled, scared, confused. All right. It's
Okay,
from
well,
IMDb.
this may be where it suddenly cuts off, but don't be disappointed. If so, we will put it as bonus material with trigger warnings, I guess, depending on how bad it is.
We'll see. It's by Oscar Ronald Burt. Oscar Ronald Burt. I have no idea how to say his name.
Gurgle it a little more.
8 out of 10. It's said that there's no honor amongst thieves. So that was the title. So it's no surprise to see Fox and friends turning upon their one-time darling game show host-in-chief, aping a low-level deaf camp guard, singing like a stool pigeon about his superiors at the Nuremberg trials, with a slap in the face against the faltering head of the deplorable rump cushion mob Spies in Disguise. Fox rebukes its own orange buffoon creation just before the latter drone strike assassination of Persia's top general, as progressives working stiff hero Walter chides loose cannon blavoting bozo Lance with his common sense philosophical tenets such as when you fight fire with fire, everybody gets burned. Spies simplifies the paranoia now pervading 6 American intelligence agencies by depicting an egg-laying pigeon as being in charge of executing the USA foreign policy. Once you jump on a bogus WMD yellow cake uranium bandwagon, there's no going back. Fox warns us with Spies in Disguise, as the final DC showdown implies every current cop, spy, and military person now wasting U.S. taxpayer funds as treasonous violators of their service academy and officer school honor codes, not to mention the oaths they swore to uphold and defend the U.S. Constitution, must be purged. The pachyderm party is for the birds, Spies confesses, and at the very least its 100 million core supporters must be defrocked of their U.S. citizenship. They've betrayed and deported to their true homeland, Siberia. I, Francis E. Deck.
I know. I was just blaming to start screaming about gangster computer robot gods or whatever.
Putting chemicals in the water, make the freaking frogs gay.
I was expecting him to start asking to send
So
him a
you see
typewriter.
why I was confused.
It sounds like a critique
That
on,
was-
on the American political system.
That was the most confusing, like, because I couldn't figure out where this person stood politically.
No,
Like, depending on how you look at it, it could be.
Well, no, he stands squarely. The language, the pachyderms need to be packing, the frog, the orange buffoon.
Yeah, but it seemed like he's saying that the movie's saying that as well. So I couldn't figure out if he's mad that the movie seems to have like a.
I thought he was praising the film.
Was he?
That's what I couldn't figure out. If it
says
at certain points it seems like it did, and other points it seems like he's mad about what the movie's saying.
I'm not sure, but I think where his political leanings are, he is the sane asylum. I think that's where he should go. That's where he stands.
Well, my gut instinct was like a Republican mad about the message of the movie.
But then he starts saying like,
But
then the language also seems like it could be a Democrat mad about the message of the movie, depending on how you look at it. But
I just think it's an insane person mad about the movie.
he had a mental break, and he has two political beliefs at once, combating each other like a Scanner Darkly or something.
I still love aping a low-level death camp guard singing like a stool pigeon about his superiors at the Nuremberg trials. If you don't know about Francis E. Deck, go listen to the recordings of it.
and you can find them on
What
YouTube.
is that in? Is that Is that in Portal? Or no? What am I thinking?
Francis E. Deck. Francis E. Deck was a real dude.
Oh yeah,
He was a lawyer who had like he just lost his mind one day. He had acute schizophrenia.
Yeah.
All his stuff was in writing, and somebody's done a great voiceover. who I started emulating for this one.
But it also reminded me of the Portal guy with the lemons.
Oh, Cave Johnson.
Yeah. No, I think we can keep that in.
We can. It's just, man, what a review.
Okay. So,
What a review. So what are the pros and cons there? Death Camp Guard singing like a stool. I mean,
it's politically incendiary. Pro con.
I think we should say the insane hate it.
Insane. Well, clearly there's some kind of political thing there. I don't know exactly what.
A critique of the United States foreign policy?
I'm just going to put...
I heard WMDs in Iraq in there.
I'm going to put politically controversial.
Who knew that this movie...
I'm putting in pro-cons.
Who knew about this? I love how he mentioned his egg laying, because he references the egg leg scene.
Egg-laying pigeon as being in charge of executing the U.S. Foreign policy.
I mean, he's not. He's one spy. He doesn't have that kind of power, but...
Is he part of the Department of Defense?
This is really just a bundle of politics. It doesn't go any way. It's just politics.
Yeah.
It's literally just encapsulated in a review.
He stretched the bow on the stage.
Well, remember...
Sound and fury signifying nothing.
It's the tale of an idiot.
Yeah, a tale told by an idiot.
Yeah, signifying
Reviews
sound
change
and fury.
lives.
So I was also going to put cons. This film may make you want to shoot your friend in the face because...
Yeah, and... So
it's
going back
not
to
really
that review,
nonviolent.
I just realized that he peed on his booty, and then he talked about putting soap on it, so he was cleaning himself off. I just realized what that was about. There's a through line there. I like that.
Yeah, it's mild deviation of homicide, but yeah, it is about ultimately it's about hygiene.
It is.
It's about hygiene.
If you boil it
That's
down, it's about hygiene.
Oh boy, I guess that's enough pros and cons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's not really facts and follies, but there were two things that needed to be brought up. Okay, welcome to Facts and Follies. Da, 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 da. That's the theme song.
You can't edit that in. You don't have to sing it.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so in facts, I didn't understand this at all, or what it meant, or how it even worked, but the main character, Lance Sterling, may have a metaphorical connection to the former president of Nintendo, Reggie. What does that mean? In what capacity?
What?
His body is ready? Is that it? Is there a reference?
He has a new chair?
The main character, Lance Sterling, may have a metaphorical connection to the former president of Nintendo, Reggie. What's the metaphorical connection? Reggie was not turned into a bird at one point, I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure, Billy? Have you
Well, I haven't watched all the hours and hours of footage he's been in.
I don't want to put in the search, did Reggie get turned into a pigeon? I'm afraid of what I'll find.
Did Lance just start selling pizza from Pizza Hut? Or,
that's why I brought it up, because in what way? They look nothing alike. Unless he said, that's the only thing I can think of is him saying my body is ready at some point. But speaking of quotes, I just, on a whim, I don't even know why he did it, I clicked on quotes, and this is something Lance Sterling said. Ah, that's hot. That's hot. So apparently he says that in the film.
Oh, that's right.
Which I didn't know that was a big enough, is that Will Smith saying? Is that his catchphrase? I thought it was just a weird thing he said in that one Rewind video. I didn't know
which became its own thing.
So that thing is really big outside of just obscure meme culture?
Yeah, I think so.
I
think it got
that.
re-referenced.
I did not know. Okay. But it'd be funnier if he said, what are we, some kind of spy organization?
No, it wouldn't.
It'd be hysterical. I will die on this hill. It's the funniest joke ever done.
So I did a quick skim of the Parents Guide, Pop and Parental Guides. Mm-hmm. A man checks his crotch after his hand shrinks and he screams in horror. I thought that was interesting.
Okay. No comment.
That's the only one, really.
All right. Well, on that note, let's try to review this film, I guess. First, though, we got to do pros and cons and pro-cons. All right. Cons. It might be better as a straight action film. It's kind of generic. It does not address it, which we will not go into any further.
Yes, everyone knows what it is.
It's a non-violent spy film, which we're not inherently against the message of teaching kids to solve their problems non-violently. But in my media, I need violence, okay? Which, I don't know, I just feel like it's just a weird thing to say, oh, I'm watching a spy film, which is about, gadgets and death-defying, stunts and battling evil. But the fact that James Bond kills people really gets my goat. It's just a weird thing to be focused on. Okay, and the characters may watch the film at the end and comment on it, which is kind of irritating. Although maybe on a second watch, you just watch that part, so maybe it's kind of interesting. So I'm kind of tempted to make it a pro-con, but for now it's in cons. And finally, it may make you want to shoot your friend.
In contrast to the
I don't know
pacifistic
how.
message.
Yeah, which is weird because the pacifistic message.
Maybe if you tinkle on your booty, it triggers something in you and makes you want to kill something.
Or maybe there's no release for you. You're just like, I want to see someone kill somebody, and your testosterone and your rage is building as you watch it, and you need some cathartic release, so you just take it out on someone else. See, that's why the film shouldn't be pacifistic.
Exactly.
Pros. Oh, the title. I just wrote Spies in Disguise.
The entire movie.
The entire movie.
Yeah, I was not thinking when I wrote that. But basically, the title is clever because it's Spies in Disguise and Spies in Disguise.
Or spies can be pies.
And then the second pro out of three, or no, there's four. The second pro is Tom Holland's stupidity. The film is gluten-free and it has birds in it.
As opposed to dogs.
Some amazing pros. And finally, the pro-con is it's politically controversial, which I don't know.
In every which way.
I don't know what its political leanings are because it could be literally anything, judging from that review. But
it occupies the central vortex of chaos, swirling forever and ever.
Yeah, it's inadvertently anarchy, not because it's literally that, but just
it simultaneously occupies these
pure chaos.
These two opposite points in the political compass.
It's not anarchy; it's literal chaos.
Yes,
I believe it's just disorder. And with that, let's review Spies in Disguise, starring Will Smith and Tom Holland. I say this a lot, but I literally do not know what to give this.
You know, at the end of the day, it's just a generic spy movie, you know?
Are you sure about that?
And I think that it deserves a generic score of maybe around like 41%.
This is like your Bloodshot review.
And I'm knocking it down a few notches because I think that turning into a bucket of water is a very poor superpower.
Okay.
So what's your final score?
Luke is not revealing what we think he's revealing.
It's a 38%.
Okay.
I knocked it down even further because I don't like the political chaos.
I don't know. I'm divided.
But I do appreciate it being gluten-free. I mean, it's nice that it's looking out for all moviegoers.
The movie doesn't interest me that much, like I've said from the beginning. It feels generic, like Luke said.
Well, you know what? My Bloodshot review is similar because that also was a very generic movie.
But at the same time, it does have Tom Holland's stupidity in it.
It does?
Which is just...
priceless.
It's amazing to witness. No man is that stupid. It's glorious. And there is a part of me that is weirdly compelled by the idea of the characters watching their own film and commenting on it.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea that really hasn't been done much.
For a first view, it'd be awful because I want to go home at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. But I am weirdly compelled by that, and it's just those weird little details like him laying an egg, and what are the moral implications of being a man in a pigeon body.
A man checks his crotch after his hand shrinks and he screams in horror.
That too. Don't know what that means. Guess he was fearing that other parts of him shrunk. I guess that's the joke.
Well, a discussion of pigeon anatomy, cloaca, and their means of going to the toilet.
See, there's all these weird little details in it.
I think someone likes pigeons a little too much. Which actually, Jake, reversed that down to 34%.
Keeps getting lower every second, Lich.
Too much.
The more I learn about this person, the more I hate it. It committed the first sin of being generic, and now it's committing even more.
I don't know. I might just give it a 55 because it's just barely a little above average.
It just misses the mark for me. It's almost good. It's almost fully hot, but it's just got way too many problems.
Oh, that's lukewarm. That's lukewarm.
It doesn't deserve a lime.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it 49. It just missed the mark by one.
All right. I was trying to think of what your Bloodshot score was, but...
I can check it.
Was it 59?
Yeah, it was 59.
I feel like we're stuck in some kind of rut here.
What was our Bloodshot? 30, 49, 45. So
Wait, who had 34?
You did.
You guys are just...
Oh no, Luke had 45.
Oh, I did? Never mind then.
I'm sticking with it.
Luke is starting... I thought Luke was like plagiarizing himself like the reviews.
Someone else is doing it. Must be those dogs, double pets.
46.
All right.
Also, I gave it a low score because I own a dog and I don't like being conflated with the double.
So you're a double owner, huh?
Yeah, I am a double owner.
Well, look, the movie's not saying that.
I mean, he is a Dodson, so I guess so.
If the devil owns it, that means you're the devil, Luke.
Oh, cool, man. They got lots of deals you guys want to make.
When people say "speak of the devil," they're referring to Luke.
A very busy man.
All right, I'm bringing it up on...
I've been several HBO comedies and cop shows.
All right. Wow, this is kind of surprising. The critics gave it a 75%, and the audience gave it a 92%.
Oh, wow.
So maybe we're wrong. Maybe the fact that we haven't seen the movie is greatly impacting our ability to review it.
Maybe we're not even trying to review it purposely.
It's almost like this is a flawed concept. So I guess we're closer to the critics technically, but I feel like in spirit, neither of them really agree with us.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't give it to anybody this time. Maybe we should get it.
Because we saw through the lies and found the true movie. Okay, we're in the VIP.
We're in the VIP.
Yeah.
Yay! I always wanted to be in the VIP of our own show.
What an honor.
We were closest to ourselves.
Yep. So
And that's all that matters. Maybe
the dumb show and I hate it.
Maybe the review didn't matter. Maybe it was the friends along the way that we
didn't
made.
make any friends.
No.
Are you kidding me? So yeah, we're in the VIP, and Caleb Pugh is the devil's pet. He's not even in the box to shave.
He's my pet.
All right. Thank you once again for listening to Much Review About Nothing. For continuing to come back time and time again.
It's our best episode yet.
In spite of diminishing returns. And as usual, you can send us an email or follow us on Twitter.
I like to imagine that money is like golf. The less you have, the more you're winning.
Don't listen to him.
And we want to thank Mike Ehrmantraut for his continued support.
Yes, we hope that others join him soon. Someday. We're poor, please. No. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at MuchReviewAN and me at SuperGruesome. Well, we'll see you next time. Except we won't.
We won't at all.
I can't remember what I say at the end.
I've been your host, Billy.
I've been Billy Greer.
Yeah, but I say thank you for listening. I do our stuff. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Billy Greer.
I've been Jake Greer.
And I've been Luke Greer.
Bye.
Bye.